I'm here with Lucas, and Lucas, you're Kernel Block.
Kernel Block 3, yeah.
Kernel
That's
Block
exactly
3.
right,
We're
yeah.
actually in the same. We're in the same block.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
awesome.
you, Tegan, and Rumi, and I,
There
and
seems to be a pretty large amount of Block 3s here. It's
it was a
kinda cool,
block. Yeah.
It was quite the block, really. Like, it really brought. I feel like Kernel was my first kind of large-scale impression of more the overall crypto community as a whole, and kind of getting a better idea of exactly what's going on in a space like this, especially with so many avenues that you can go down to learn more about this space. So watching all of the different tracks and kind of getting invested in them and having trouble even choosing which ones I wanted to do was really kind of like a learning experience and really a great exposure to the broader community. And I still love Kernel today just for the sheer fact that,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's so much fun jumping in the Slack and just seeing what's up, eh?
Yeah, and like so, you're mentioning kind of their ability to segment and kind of create scopes for people when they come into this space and like focuses, which is really important because Web3 is impacting so many elements of our life.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And
especially for us.
especially for young people and kind of choosing which area we want to focus on because you can't do it all at once. You know, it's really easy to get overwhelmed in the space.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think Kernel does a great job of like
Introducing
and helping, like kind of holding people's hand a little bit as we walk through together.
And also bringing the right people together as well. Like I feel like there's a certain part of the overall crypto community that can be maybe even a little predatory in some of the actions that they do. And
Tribal, right? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And one of the things I appreciate about Kernel is it's like I've never really felt a sense of that kind of anywhere within it. It's always just kind of been a wonderful group that has always been contributing and building so many new interesting things. I mean, hell, like our project got pretty much earmarked and brought up a lot because of Kernel, because of the whole exposure that we had to the wider audience and the wider connections that we were able to make through that.
That's amazing. And share with us a little bit about your project and what you're working on.
So I'm with DeFi Safety. I'm the Director of Operations at DeFi Safety. Pretty much what we do is we rate DeFi protocols on a whole bunch of different parameters, including stuff like access controls, whether or not they display information about their oracles, quality of the audits, how much of their team that they've actually KYC'd, whether or not the contract addresses are easily accessible, and a few different other metrics to pretty much put together a 28-question rubric that we can then apply to pretty much any DeFi protocol on most major chains and give an objective rating about how the overall process quality of the actual DeFi protocol is. And the nice thing about what we do is it's objective, so you can look at the rating for one protocol and look at the rating for another one, and you can directly compare the immediate results of the two of them and get a good idea of what one thing is doing right and maybe another thing isn't doing as right.
Right.
So ultimately we exist to protect investors and to give them a good guide into how the ultimate world of DeFi and how to kind of interact and how to be safe in the space, which is really important because, I mean, we exist in an area with bad actors kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
And even a lot of these larger projects that now get quite a bit of attention is still almost filled with bad actors. So honestly, just seeing that and kind of being able to provide some sort of guidance to the large group of investors is really a useful process, I believe.
Yeah, and then aggregating, these different projects so that people can see it in one place is really important. I mean, that's why we saw CoinMarketCap, explode so early on, and CoinGecko. It's like the ability to see and compare in real time is like something that, Web3 enables us to do, is really like see it happening as it's happening. Which is amazing. And
we're actually integrated with CoinGecko. If you go on CoinGecko and you click on the security tab, you will find for most protocols a DeFi safety score there.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's so important, especially when these tools are just like now becoming available, where they used to be locked up in the bank's hands, and traditional, TradFi tooling is now much more accessible and decentralized. It's so important for us to learn about those tech and be able to, just compare across the board.
Yeah, it really is. It's something that I think the space is going to see a lot more of as we go on, and I'm really excited to kind of watch the evolution of just this entire world. ethdenver has been so crazy, eh?
Oh yeah. And speaking of crazy, we'll shoot to wrap up here and end it on kind of one learning that really stuck with you in your time at Kernel. And was there like a quote or a specific theme that you've gone and carried through like your building process?
Well, I suppose the biggest thing that I ultimately got out of Kernel was exposure to a community of people that I could then build on and kind of grow out of. So through my exposure to Kernel, I actually learned about some other interesting common good projects, such as obviously Gitcoin, learning more about that, and then getting involved with actually the Common Stack DAO and some of the other things that are happening out there in the space that are built around creating public good services for that. So honestly, being able to bring myself into some of these more interesting projects and using Kernel as a launchpad, to me, is probably the biggest way that it kind of helped contribute to my overall career in Web3 thus far.
Yeah, it kind of like helps hold you accountable to like keep on researching and learning and what others are doing and going back, like you said, checking the Slack.
Jumping through those crazy research papers.
Right, exactly. And seeing how much effort people are putting towards this. It's incredible.
Yeah,
well, awesome.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Thanks so much for sharing and looking forward to following your journey. Oh, one more thing. Where can people find you if you want people to find you?
Oh, well, hey, if you want to message me, just message me on Telegram. Sentient Plant. Feel free to do that. And let's just take it from there.
Love it. Awesome. Talk soon. Appreciate the words.